I mean, I think what we have seen now is this expectation that in 2023 was going to be a down year. People were talking about recessions. People were talking about runaway inflation. Well, here we are now at the start of 2024, and as it turns out, it wasn't as dire as people initially predicted, as economists had forecasted. So we're in a situation now where unemployment is low, and an all-time low at this point. We're seeing inflation going down. We're seeing the cost of living going down. We're seeing wages going up. These are all good indicators. If you're the president of the United States, no matter what party you are, you're okay with this economy. And I promise you, if Donald Trump were president right now, he would be spiking the football in the end zone saying this is the greatest economy in the history of mankind.
Let's talk about that, Kurt. I want to stick with that. I want to talk about a trip to the grocery store. Right now, when you buy eggs, it's hovering a little above $2. It was double that this time last year. We can say the same thing about gas prices. We can say the same thing about milk. But we know the economy, like we showed in all those polls, is top of mind for voters. Do you think Fed decisions in the next few months will play a role for voters as they head to the polls in November?
Well, I think it will, in that if they cut interest rates, people will feel that in their own pocketbooks. I think that, again, that will inspire consumer confidence. It will inspire buying a home. A lot of people sat out of the housing market the last 2 years because they couldn't afford the mortgage rates. They couldn't afford the interest. They couldn't get access to the loans that they needed to qualify to be able to purchase a home. So if the interest rates go down, that's good news for consumers who have been sitting out of the housing market for a long time.
From the political operative side, there's not enough time for Joe Biden. There's not enough time. Not enough time for all that to change these minds. It's not instant. When you tick these numbers down and it's not instant gratification. And so I think the cake's baked in for this. The economy's stupid. I think Joe owns it. I think it's his. The question is, if it's 280 years old, somebody else.
The Fed lifted rates to the highest in decades. It was 5.2%. That was in March of 2022. We know one of the biggest impacts of high interest rates is on the job market. Companies tend not to expand. People feel insecure about their jobs. Do you think cutting interest rates soon will improve customer sentiment? Kate?
I do. I think at least it'll make you feel better about your home mortgage. It'll make you feel better when you've got credit card debt. I mean, instantly your credit card debt changes. That was what was the big deal when they changed it, when they moved these interest rates up and kept kicking them up. The folks who carry credit card debt, and you should go follow that number, the largest we've seen in the last 6 or 7 years, boom. And the pandemic had erased a lot of credit card debt because people were using the pandemic money to get it down. So that'll have some effect. And all the politicians are wanting to at least stop raising this interest rate.
Do you think it'll help consumer sentiment?
Yeah, I do. Because, again, if you have lower interest rates, you have more money at the end of the day. And that's something that's good versus bad. And I think that the president, again, is presiding over an economy that's really on a lot of metrics. It's rocking. And it's a good position to be in. And while sentiment might be baked in that it's negative and down because for so long it was, we're starting to see kind of a turning of the corner on that. And as long as that's the case and that holds, that's a good position to be in if you're President Biden. And we just saw after the holiday season, record spending from consumers during this holiday season. People have more money in their pockets to spend, and they are spending it, which is good news for the economy overall.
Kurt and Kate and gentlemen, thank you again.
We're leaving this time.
We appreciate you being here for real this time. Thanks, guys.